Dr. Dobler, President Obama, when he was candidate Obama, and, he was running for the presidency back in 2007 and before he won in 2008, I think, much was made about him being a constitutional lawyer. He talked about restoring America's credibility in the international world, comparing, all of the abuses that we heard, coming from the Bush administration. But yet, here he has, whether you want to say he was leading from behind, taking a role in the overthrow of a legitimate government in Libya. Also, we have seen him set up a death panel to target a U.S. civilian, and I'm talking about Anwar al-Awlaki. What do you think about that, considering, the things that he said as a candidate?
Yes, I share your concern about that. I think that to many international lawyers, it's a very unfortunate situation, because we were already confronted with 8 years of President George W. Bush, who I think more out of ignorance almost than anything else was not able to act consistently with the law. And you could even argue that he was incapacitated and that he really didn't seem to be that intelligent and able to understand how the law applies, and made ridiculous mistakes, like at one point, even in 2001, he said that we want to kill or capture every member of the Taliban just after he defined them as a fundamentalist religious organization, which is almost the exact treaty definition of genocide. It was so serious that Colin Powell, then the Secretary of State, sent a legal advisor to the White House with instructions to sleep there to make sure the president doesn't essentially admit that he's carrying out genocide or some other international crime. When we had Obama coming into office, I think many of us were very much appreciative of having somebody who now was a lawyer, who undoubtedly knew how international law applied, and who we hoped would respect it. I don't know whether it's him, because I think he does have the understanding of the law, and I would imagine the will to want to implement it, or it's the environment that he's in. But I think that a lot of international lawyers, even some very close to him, and I would consider myself a supporter of him, are very disappointed by the way he has handled situations, especially in light of the fact that as he came into office, he won the Nobel Prize, the Nobel Peace Prize, in fact, but has in fact been as large a purveyor of violence as the previous president, and I think with a much less of an excuse to be so, and I think that's very, very unfortunate. I think it's a stronger indictment, perhaps even, of the American people in general than our last president was, who might be found to be an exceptionally unexceptional American. This person was clearly an exceptional American, but he still has continued in a similar and in some ways even more violent manner. I hope that this will change. I sincerely hope that if he has a second term, he will be able to atone for some of his quite significant injuries, I believe, to the rule of law and the United States' respect for the rule of law. And I'm convinced that he has the ability to do that. I just hope he will have the courage to do that.